Alright, so right now in 4p, and I'm gonna make a thumbnail for myself. First of all, we need a background. Just a white background wouldn't really cut it. So you can either use a rectangle to make a shape and use a color over here, but I prefer to use a gradient. To use a gradient, simply use this tool and I can select a gradient over here, and you can change the color over here. I'm gonna change it to something like blue because I like blue. I'm gonna put it a bit dark. Alright, so this is gonna be the gradient. I'm gonna try to make sure it looks smooth, so I'm gonna do it like this. I think this looks good overall. And now if you go to file and open and place, you can bring your image. This is an image of me talking I found from a previous video, and over here I can put myself, but for the way I'm looking, I think it'll match it more if I'm on the right side. Now you can click on confirm. So if you want to increase the size, you can also do it like this after you have placed it, in case you want to make it perfect. I think this is amazing. Now, so over here, this is a layer of my image of myself. If you double tap on it, on the side, it opens a new menu called layer style. I know this looks very confusing, but let me go over it very quickly. This is a stroke. This is pretty much an outline, you know. As you can see over here, I can increase the size, and this is for like when you want to add images and all of that. I personally don't add strokes. This is an inner shadow. I don't use inner glow or inner shadow too much. If you want to, you can obviously do it. Bevel and emboss is I don't really understand it. It feels like a mix of inner shadow and inner glow. Then Satan pretty much it makes everything darker inside. Then is color overlay. As you can see, I can change it to any color I want. So it's just a mask of me pretty much. We won't be needing that either. Gradient overlay is same as that, but with the gradient. Pattern overlay, a pattern, but an overlay. So then is outer glow, drop shadow, and 3D. So you can change the color of the 3D thing over here, and you can change the angle too, and you can also change the distance, and now it looks like it's more 3D. For a person, I would say you don't really need 3D, but for an object, maybe 3D will look good. Let's remove all of the effects we have and put on drop shadow. So I like having it like this, about 180 degrees. So let's just type that in. Alright, 180 degrees. I increase the size so it looks more blurred, and I like to decrease the distance. As you can see already, it looks a lot better than how we start. But if you want to add a bit of light, I will show you the best trick to do. Turn on gradient overlay, and I know it looks like this starting, but just put it to color dodge mode. You can change the opacity to a bit less, so if you want you can go from this to this. It definitely looks a lot better for your videos, and this is something that you can do, and I personally think it'll be good. You can, and if you don't want it just in your head, and you can also do it with color. So if you want it for your whole body, you can do the same thing with color instead of gradient overlay. So since color is a bit too high, I'm gonna put it to about 19 opacity. Make sure to put the blend mode to color dodge, otherwise it'll still be white. It will still be a normal color. Now I would personally say we have finished the person. Now we have to move on to the text. I already have a text preset called Pantone, and I personally like the font. So if you also want to use other fonts, you can click load font and load any font that you want that you have. I'm pretty sure it has to be TTF or OTF for you to import it. There's also a huge preset library already there, so you won't take any of those. Like if I think this one is nice, you can also use that. But like I said, first I'm gonna use the Pantone font. I'm gonna change the font to 170. Okay, so how to make. After that, like right now, personally it's too big, right? So you can just select all of it and then change the size. So I'm gonna change it to about 145. How to make. And now before I add new text, I'm gonna change it to 100. Make a spectacular, no, an eye-catching thumbnail, because that's the video. So I'm just gonna select all and I'm gonna change the size to 100. Still does not fit really well, so maybe 50 will work well. 50 is a bit less, so I'm gonna put it to 75. It takes a bit of time to find the perfect size for your video. Like this is still a bit too much, so I'm gonna put it to 65. Let's say 65. And this, however, is perfect, right? I'm gonna select both of them. In my opinion, they're a bit up, so I'm gonna make it a bit more centered. So now we are just going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be changing the layer styles for each one. Tap and drop shadow. The best part about this is it auto saves. Like, remember when we were doing the drop shadow for the person? This is the settings that we used. It automatically saves for the next time you want to do it. So right now when I want to select how to make, it also stays, so it's much easier for you to do it. We've added drop shadows and pretty much everything that we need. But if you want, you can go through all the effects that are there in case you want something, maybe a gradient overlay, a pattern overlay. If you want anything like that, you can go through it too if you want. If you want to add a strokes in text are also useful. If you want to set it to like a 1 and then add some text, that would also be nice. And in my thumbnail, I personally like to add a part where it says by Jerry Garrett, because it's a shared channel. I like to have things saying by with Jerry Garrett. So I'm gonna set it to 45 and I'm gonna change it with Jerry. And now I'm gonna put it to the side. And this, in my opinion, is an eye-catching thumbnail. This is what I would define of it. And this is pretty much the end of the demo. You can go to file and export as PNG, WebP, whatever you want. You can name it and you can click save. And that's pretty much it for this video. See you guys next time. Bye.